So, we will first discuss a couple of problems based on finding of equivalent resistance. So, here is a network and A and B are the points between whom the equivalent resistance is to be found, and the options are given. So, with this problem, I would like to share a couple of methods of solving such circuits. They are called the rules of symmetry. And the first rule goes like this: if you are required to find out the equivalent resistance between A and B, and the perpendicular bisector of the line joining AB is the line of symmetry. Remember, A and B are the 2 points between whom the equivalent resistance is to be found, and the perpendicular bisector of AB is the line of symmetry. You can just imagine a line AB there, even if A and B are not connected, and then think of a perpendicular bisector of the line AB. If the perpendicular bisector is the line of symmetry, what do I mean by the line of symmetry? Is the line which simply divides the network into 2 equal parts. Whatever you see on one side of the line should be same as what you see on the other side of the line. Then imagine a mirror kept along that particular line. Then find out the circuit elements on one side of the mirror and their mirror images on the other side. Find out the circuit elements on one side of the mirror and their mirror images on the other side, and imagine the same current to be flowing through them. And once you know that the current which flows through them is same, you can simply remove some unnecessary joints which are creating a problem for us. Like I will show you here. See, A and B are the 2 points between whom the equivalent resistance is to be found, and this is the perpendicular bisector of the line joining AB. Now the line is the line of symmetry. Whatever you see on the left hand side of the line is same as what you see on the right hand side. So I have imagined a mirror kept along this particular line. And then once I keep a mirror, I have to identify the circuit elements and their mirror images. And I hope you all agree that if this is the circuit element, then this is its mirror image, not this. Similarly, if this is the circuit element, this is its mirror image and not this, because the mirror is not kept like this. If the mirror were to be kept like this, then this is the circuit element and this is the mirror image. But now this mirror is kept like this, therefore if this is the circuit element, this is going to be its mirror image, and for this one. So I will remove this joint and I will redraw the circuit, because this joint has created a problem. It makes us feel that the current has a scope here to get divided at this particular joint. But now we know very well that whatever current flows through this should flow through this, because they are the mirror images of each other. Therefore, having removed that particular joint, I will redraw the circuit. See, I have removed this joint, and each of the resistances are R here. All these are R. These two are still A and B, and we are supposed to find out the equivalent resistance between A and B. See, I have just removed this joint, but please remember, while removing the joint, I have identified the resistances in which the current is going to be the same. This and this will carry the same current, not this and this. So the joint is not removed without any thought. I have applied the rules of symmetry and then I have removed the joint properly. Okay, so now this R is in parallel with these two R's in series. So R plus R will be 2R, 2R and R in parallel will be 2R by 3. So I will redraw the circuit again. Now this is A again and this is B. See, now R and 2R have made it 2R by 3, and same here also. This is also 2R by 3 by these two in series in parallel with this R, and this R and this R are still as they are, and you are required to find out equivalent resistance between A and B. Now if you finally see, this R, this 2R by 3 and this R are all in series, and then they are all in parallel with 2R by 3. So 2R by 3 plus R will make it 2r by 3 plus 2r, which is 8r by 3. So, one more last simplification, I will try to do it here. So, this is your point A, point B, like this. So, this is 2r by 3 and this is 2r by 3 plus 2r, which is 8r by 3. Agreed? Okay. So, that 8r by 3 and 2r by 3 in parallel will make your answer 8r by 15. 8r by 3 and 2r by 3 which are in parallel will give you the equivalent resistance between A and B as 8r by 15. So, this is the right option. So, here is another problem, and the purpose of taking this problem is very simple. See, the previous one that we had solved and this problem are same, but the figure that he has given appears to be slightly different. So, many times it so happens that the figures appear to be different, but if you just redraw them, they are the same problems. So, see, 8 resistances, each of 5 ohms. Only thing is that he has given you the resistance of each. Last time he had just called them as R. 5 ohms and are connected as shown in the figure. Find equivalent resistance between A and B. So, this circuit is similar to what we had solved earlier. So, we all know very well that the answer there was 8R by 15. So, 8R by 15 is the equivalent resistance between A and B. And if you put the value of R as 5, you will get 8 by 3, and that makes your A option perfectly correct. So, here is one more problem on finding of the equivalent resistance, but there is one more rule of symmetry, as I had mentioned earlier, which I am supposed to use here, and that rule is, if you want to find out the equivalent resistance between A and B and the line joining A and B itself is the line of symmetry which divides the whole network into 2 equal parts, then you can simply fold the entire network about that particular line and consider the overlapping resistances to be in parallel. Let me repeat the rule once again. If you are supposed to find out the equivalent resistance between A and B and the line joining AB itself is the line of symmetry. In the previous rule, the perpendicular bisector of the line joining AB was the line of symmetry. Here, the line AB itself is the line of symmetry. So, he suggests you to simply fold the network about that particular line and imagine the overlapping resistances to be in parallel. And we know that whenever 2 resistances are in parallel, their equivalent resistance is simply R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So, we know how to club the resistances in parallel. Last time you had kept a mirror, you had identified the circuit elements on one side of the mirror and their mirror images on the other side, and you had taken the current flowing through them to be same. This time we are simply going to fold the network about the line of symmetry, but AB itself is the line of symmetry. Fine? Okay, so here each of the resistances are R and you are supposed to find out the equivalent resistance between A and B, and as I said, the line joining AB itself is the line of symmetry. See, AB is not a connected line, but we can imagine always one line. So, AB is the line of symmetry which has simply divided the network into 2 equal parts, because whatever you see on that side is what you see on this side also. So, now I will redraw the circuit having folded this. Fine. So, I will redraw this having folded. Fine. So, this is how I have drawn. I have simply wiped out this part of the circuit, and I have drawn only this part, this part, this part and this part. All the circuit which was on one side of the line AB has been removed because that has been folded, and this resistance has overlapped with this has overlapped with this has overlapped with this. Fine. This has still remained as it is because there was nothing to be overlapped on this, it was coming on the line of symmetry. So this has remained R, this has become R by 2, this has also become R by 2, and this has also become R by 2, and you are supposed to find out equivalent resistance between A and B. Okay. Now, if the current enters at A, it has got an option to go through this resistance, pass through this resistance and reach this particular point, and then directly go through R by 2 and reach this point. So, I hope you all agree that this R and this R by 2 are in series, which makes 3R by 2, and that 3R by 2 in parallel with R by 2. Fine? Okay. So, let me again redraw. See, this is A, this is B, this is still R by 2, I have not done anything through this resistance, but this R and R by 2 combined have made it 3R by 2 in parallel with R by 2. So, I will just try to simplify and find out how much is 3R by 2 in parallel with R by 2. 3R by 2 into R by 2 divided by 3R by 2 plus R by 2 is 2R, 4R by 2 is 2R. So, R gets cancelled, it will be 3R by 8. So, this is 3R by 8. Now, 3R by 8 and R by 2 are in series, and that gives you an equivalent resistance between A and B, and your answer is 7R by 8. So, one more network on finding of the equivalent resistance. It goes like this. See, find the equivalent resistance between A and B. Oh, but let me tell you one more thing. See, having taught this finding of the equivalent resistance, considering them to be in series and parallel, many a times students feel that whenever a network is given to them, the resistances are supposed to be either in series or in parallel. But that is not the case. A complex circuit may have the resistances neither in series nor in parallel. So, immediately do not jump to the conclusion of deciding whether the resistances are in series or in parallel. Fine? Okay. Anyway, so A and B are the points between whom the equivalent resistance is to be found, and I hope you agree here that the line joining AB itself is the line of symmetry. The line joining AB itself is the line of symmetry. So, you have to fold the entire network about that particular line. I am talking about that rule of symmetry wherein the line AB itself is the line of symmetry. Therefore, you can fold the network about that particular line. So, now if you fold this network about this line, I will redraw it and I will show you how does it appear. Like as I said last time, I am just going to wipe out the circuit part which is above the line AB, and I will keep only the circuit which is below the line AB. Therefore, the network will appear like this. See, I have drawn this one. So, this is the point B, no connection further, directly there is a resistance here. Like this is over, this is over, this is over, fine. And okay, there is one more here like this. This was to be drawn. See, I have drawn this resistance here. These are the points A and B between whom equivalent resistance is to be found. then this resistance is shown here, this is shown here, this is shown, this is shown, and this is shown. Fine. Okay, so nothing has overlapped with this, so this will still remain R. This resistance and this resistance have overlapped, and I suggested you to take the overlapping resistances to be in parallel, so this has become R by 2. This has overlapped with this, so this has also become R by 2. This has overlapped with this, so this has become R by 2. This has still remained as it is, so R. This has overlapped with this, resulting into an R by 2 here, and this has finally overlapped with this, making this resistance also R by 2. Fine? Okay. So now the current has to enter through A and it has to leave through B. You are supposed to find out the equivalent resistance between A and B. Whatever current flows through this should continue to flow through R by 2, R and R by 2. I hope you agree that this R by 2, this R and this R by 2 are all in series. So if I just redraw the circuit, I will show these three combined as 2R. R by 2 plus R by 2 is R, R plus R is 2R. Fine? Just redraw. So this is your A again, B, this was R, this is R by 2, this is R by 2, this is R by 2, and I told you I have only added this, this and this to 2R, and that is to be joined. Fine. So this is going to be 2R and this is your point B. See, R by 2 plus R by 2 is R, R plus R is 2R joined to this particular point. Fine? Okay. So now the current has to enter through A and it has to leave through B, and the paths are, see, this R by 2, and between these 2 points now you can say between this point and this point there are 2 paths, one is from here and the other is from here. See, this is one path for the current to come towards B and this is another path, and both are between the same 2 points, this point and this point, R by 2 and 2R. So this 2R and R by 2 can be clubbed in parallel. Fine. So I will remove this 2R and R by 2 and I will show only one resistance there. This is A, this is B, this is R, this is still your R by 2. Like this. So this is R by 2, this is also R by 2, and this 2R and R by 2, right, which were between these 2 points, this point and this point, are clubbed in parallel. So that we will try to find out and simply replace it. So R and 2R and R by 2. So 2R into R by 2 divided by 2R plus R by 2, which is 5R by 2. Yeah. So now this R by 2 gets cancelled and you get 2R by 5. So 2R by 5 is this. And I think that's the simplest one, because current has to enter through A, it has to pass through this R by 2, then 2R by 5, and then this R by 2 and come out of B, and the other path is directly from A to B through the resistance R. So this R and these 3 are in series. This R and these 3 in series are in parallel. R by 2 plus R by 2 is R, R plus 2R by 5 is 7R by 5, and 7R by 5 and R are in parallel. So this R is in parallel with R by 2 plus R by 2 and 2R by 5. See, R by 2 plus R by 2 is R, R plus 2R by 5 is 7R by 5, and 7R by 5 and R are in parallel. So if you take them in parallel, you will get 7R by 12. So A is the right option. So, here is an infinite ladder network and let me show you how to really solve this. See, he says there are a lot of elementary sets which are going to form this infinite ladder. So, you are first supposed to identify what are those elementary sets. So, each of the elementary sets here consists of this resistance and this resistance. See, the same thing keeps on repeating. So, this is the first one of them, then this is the second one, third one, fourth one, and so on, and finally this is the last. Fine. So, this is an infinite ladder network. Find the resistance to be connected between the points C and D so that the equivalent resistance between A and B becomes independent of the number of elementary sets forming the infinite ladder. So, he is asking you what resistance has to be connected between C and D so that your equivalent resistance between A and B becomes independent of these number of elementary sets forming the infinite network. So, we do not know that resistance, let us call it as say X. Now, if you connect that resistance X here, the equivalent resistance between A and B should become independent of the number of elementary sets forming the infinite ladder. So, I hope that clearly means that whether I connect that resistance X here or here or here or here or here, it does not matter at all. Why? Because it has to become independent of the number of elementary sets, and I told you the elementary sets that we have identified forming this infinite ladder are this, this and this taken together. So, whether I connect that X here after the first elementary set or I connect it here after the second elementary set, that is whether that X is connected between these 2 points or that X is connected between these 2 points or it is connected here, it should not matter. But that also implies that even if I connect it here, see, between A and B directly, because I have not taken any number of elementary sets at all, because it should become independent of the number of elementary sets that I am supposed to use. So, even when I connect that X here between the points A and B directly, it should not matter. But if I connect that resistance X between A and B, what will be the equivalent resistance between A and B? X. So, what I will do is I will redraw this network considering one of the elementary sets and our resistance X connected between C and D to be here and call the equivalent resistance between A and B also as X. I hope I made my point clear. See, he wants the equivalent resistance between A and B to be independent of the number of elementary sets. So, whether I connect that X here or here or here or here or here, the answer should be same. But having connected that X here makes the equivalent resistance between A and B as X itself. So, whatever resistance you are planning to connect between C and D will be the equivalent resistance between A and B also is what I want to say. So, I will just redraw the network now. See, this is your A and this is B. This is one of the elementary sets that I am trying to draw. See, this is one of the elementary sets I have shown, and this is that X which I am planning to connect between these 2 points. In fact, I am planning to connect it between C and D, but I told you as it should be independent of the number of elementary sets forming the network, I am planning to connect it here. So, this is X. And let us imagine that all the resistances forming this particular ladder are R. Okay, but you may question me, why didn't I connect it here? Had I connected it here, the equivalent resistance between A and B would have been X, and X was not the answer. You are trying to find the value of X, please remember. So, I have connected it between these 2 points. You may also question me as to why did I connect between these 2 points and why not between these 2 points. If I connect that X between these 2 points, the circuit will be much more complicated, in the sense the equation which I am going to get to solve may be cubical equation. Now, I hope you will realize a step later that you are going to get a quadratic equation, right. So, had you connected it here, you could have possibly got a 4th degree equation or a cubic equation, I do not know, which would have been slightly complicated for us to solve. So, we have not connected it here or after any other elementary set, I am going to connect it exactly here. Why not here? In fact, connecting that here would have been the simplest, but then I would not have got the value of x. So, I am connecting it here. Okay. So, now this is the simplest arrangement that I have done. X is what we are trying to find out. R and R are what is going to form an elementary set, and the equivalent resistance between A and B is also X. This was important, this step was important, calling the equivalent resistance between A and B to be X. Okay. So, now this R, X and R are in series, making us 2R plus X. R plus X is 2R plus X, and the 2R plus X and R are in parallel. So, 2R plus X and R are in parallel. So, 2R plus X into R divided by 2R plus X plus R, right. R plus R is 2R, 2R plus X are in series, that 2R plus X and R are in parallel. So, 2R plus X into R divided by 2R plus X plus R, and this is equal to X, because that is the equivalent resistance between A and B. Now, if you solve this quadratic equation, 2R plus X into R divided by 3R plus X multiplied by X, I am just going to cross multiply. So, 2R plus X into R divided by 3R plus X taken to that side. So, then you get a simple quadratic equation like, see, 2R into R is 2R square plus Rx equal to 3R into X plus 3R into X plus X square. 3R into X plus X square. So, this is a quadratic equation in X square. I will rewrite it again. It will be X square, 3Rx minus Rx is 2Rx and minus 2R square equal to 0. And you can compare this with your Ax square plus Bx plus C and simply find out the root x, and that will give you an answer B. So, if you simply solve this quadratic equation in x, the value of x that you are going to get is r into root 3 minus 1. What formula are you going to apply here? Minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. That gives you r into root 3 minus 1. So, I hope now you agree that by connecting that resistance x here itself, I am getting a quadratic equation. So, had I connected it somewhere ahead of this, then I think the equation would have been of a higher power.